My homosexuals, what is going on? I want to know how you're doing, because today I'm not doing very well. It was a day, to say the least. You know, I had one of those out of nowhere days where it just, you get in there, you feel great, you're pumped up, and you're just like, I'm gonna do wonderfully. I'm gonna put in 110, and I'm gonna love every second of it. And that did not happen. Did not happen whatsoever. I even like just on snatch right away, I just immediately got in my head. My grip felt weird. My shoulders and forearms felt tight. I kept fiddling with my wrist just because I've had an injury there in the past. And anytime you do worse than you want to, just compared to your own personal typical standard, especially in Olympic lifting, you can get some there was no pain. I just was giving myself reasons to have phantom pain for basically no reason other than to make life a little bit harder for myself today. It just happens sometimes where you get so excited, you get so pumped up, you get so passionate, and don't get me wrong, I am passionate. I am one passionate boy. I got it in me. I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to do better every step of the way. That's how we do it. But I have to accept that there are days where there's just not going to be a solution. That I have to accept in the moment. I'm always saying you got to do your best to try to do better in the moment with what your body can give you. It's a lot of the time I have a lot more in me than I realize. But there are those rare days like today where it's just not there, And although it's disappointing, and although I was beating myself up, I don't know if any of you have done this before, but I was going back on my old videos on Instagram from 2 months ago or a month ago, being like, why was I perfect right here and feeling amazing, but today I feel absolutely like a donkey shit? And it's just as simple as it just wasn't there today. I can come up with 1,000 reasons if you let me sit here long enough to trail off and list that. It could be my eating, it could be my sleeping, it could be my schoolwork, my work, it could be my mobility training, it can be anything. The time I go to the gym, how much effort I'm putting into other things in my daily life, everything can be a factor. Everything. So I can either sit there and dwell on the small stuff and let it get to me, which I did today. Don't get me wrong. I'm not perfect by any means. It was a good hour to hour and a half of me just kicking myself, just asking myself why. And what I know, and I knew before this, but you kind of just have to relearn it sometimes. It's not, you're not just going to be at 100% mentally or physically every single day. Sometimes I got to reteach myself that it's not about the why. It's about how can we do better, regardless of the why. The why does not matter. Right and wrong is not going to matter. It just matters that I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I know what I can do to make myself better, but I can either do that or I can dwell on the shit that doesn't make my lifts easier today. I just had to, in the moment, I had to just rip out logic out of my brain for a second and just say, okay, my shoulders are not feeling great, my wrists don't feel great, my form doesn't feel great, my energy does not feel great, nothing is feeling great. But what is feeling great? My knees, zero pain, zero kickback. I have never felt better since my knee got hurt. My mobility, although it didn't feel as good in my core, the mobility is still there, I may not be as strong, but I can still whip under the bar and I can still lift with as much passion as I can put into it. Even if my passion today was 5% of what it was yesterday, it's still there, You can't, even if it's so minuscule that you can't even give yourself the credit to notice it yourself, you got to just pause for a second sometimes when you have a really bad shit day like today and look back and say, okay, I still have it. It is not gone. The passion is still there. The strength is still there. The mobility, everything is still there. It didn't leave me magically. over a course of one rest day. It was just an off day from the coincidental back and forth things stacking one on top of the other until eventually I had a day like today where I just was not ready for the lifts that I had planned to do. Although I hit everything, I didn't have a single missed lift, and I didn't have a single elbow bend. Some lifts looked questionable. I walked forward on some. I didn't have a fully controlled core on some. One of the overhead squat sets, oh my God, I almost died. It was not fun. But I have to remind myself that regardless of what my typical standard is, right now in this present moment, I put in what I could and I accepted the limitations for what they were, Before I get even further into this shit, because you know me, I cannot stop myself from yapping my head off. All things considered, physically, I'm going to give it a flat 7. It's the lowest it's been in a while. But I being realistic, I did it to myself. In a way, I became my own worst enemy today. Because not only did I allow myself to get comfortable and fall into a sway of certain habits in my outside life out of the gym that led to lazier motivation and a decrease of just overall efforts. It just wasn't where I wanted it to be. I could not. No, that's a lie. I was gonna say I couldn't lock in. I could have locked it in, but I fought myself for so long trying to find a solution when I should have been focused on embracing and accepting, and even more than that, enjoying and appreciating the lifts that I had for right now. It's so damn frustrating to look back on, but at the same time, that disappointment is what fuels me. It gives me reason to show up, and not just show up and just to show up, but to actually do better, mentally. If you asked me an hour ago, it would not have been fucking great. But you all know this is why I do this on the way home. When I leave the gym, I'm at my peak passion, not just randomly, but that's the way I set myself up. That's the way I want to express myself. That's the standard that I want to live up to, so that I can look back on my mistakes, limitations, shitty days in general with some positivity, goddammit. So mentally, I'll give it a 7.65. That's pretty all right. No, 7.6. Can't get ahead of myself. But regardless of those lower than usual numbers, again, that's not what's important. That kind of just gives me an idea personally of like, okay, that's where I'm feeling right now. What can I do in the next 24 hours to get that 7.6 to even a 7.65? As small as an increase as that may appear, in 24 hours to go up a whole, what is that? Like, I can't even fucking tell you. It's higher than a percentage, but going up any percentage in a day, I can be grateful for. I can appreciate and love that about what I do. Again, I have to eat shit with a purpose. I can't just go in there and have a shitty workout and then leave without learning anything. On the contrary, I think you learn the most on days when you treat yourself the shittiest. Even if physically you're fine and your lifts are all great, or even today, I didn't even have that bad of a day. I look back at my lifts after I left the gym and I was like, dude, I really just gave myself so much shit when I could have just appreciated the good reps that I was hitting. Because even though some of them I walked a little bit forward, some of them I wasn't as confident, some of them just didn't feel as mentally there. I had some pretty good goddamn reps today, and I just let them fly out the fucking window. I didn't even appreciate them until I left the gym. That is such a waste of goddamn effort. Like, at least give yourself the credit and the mental availability to sit there and be like, you know what? Standard isn't being totally met today, but I'm in here. I'm making my lifts. I'm doing mostly good technique and mobility when it comes to what the overall standard is. And I got to just appreciate the fact that even if, let's say, I hit 95% shitty reps that I would not have liked according to my own personal standard, if I just had one really good, really solid rep, that's something to be fucking grateful for, god damn it. Like, I don't mean to fucking yell at you guys, you know, I really don't, but god damn it, it's more me needing to remind myself of, like, what the fuck I'm doing here, you know? Like, you can lose yourself so goddamn fast when you just keep looking, when you just compare yourself to yourself with a negativity, you know? I've said it in the past. You can only compare yourself to you. You comparing yourself to other people is a waste of goddamn time, because everybody's different and everybody grows through different experiences and have different genetic physical makeups. You just can't compare. You literally can't. Like, even if you're way stronger than some other freshman in high school, you still can't compare to them. They're a whole different breed compared to you in their own way. So I guess just at the fucking bare bones of it all, you gotta kind of just let go and just, you know, stop fighting yourself sometimes. It's gonna happen. And it's okay if you do. Not saying that this is the end of the world, or that my fucking passion's in the tank now and it's fucking over. I'm gonna have a shit workout week the rest of the week. No! This is... I love saying, like, whenever I have a buddy or a family member or just anybody close to me that says that they think they're hitting their rock bottom, I'm like, good. That's a good fucking thing. You got to be grateful to be able to hit rock bottom, because anybody who hits rock bottom knows that that's where you make the most turnaround right then and there, because you have no choice. If you can't turn on the positivity and you can't live in the moment, and you got to sometimes, again, I've been there. I've hit my rock bottom several times in the past, and it took a lot of years of going through that shit to accept and appreciate the everyday like I do in these videos, you know? So if you think you're hitting a rock bottom right now, hit that shit hard and bounce back twice as hard. Because I fucking promise you, I know that you can't truly believe in it until you go through it and experience it for yourself, but that rock bottom is going to be the best thing that could have ever happened to you. That's going to be the thing that really shows you what you can be grateful for and what you have to do according to your own personal needs every single day to appreciate yourself. That's just it, you know? It's just allowing yourself to happily embrace the shittiest of moments so that you can make the most progress in the shortest amount of time. Because I fucking promise you, take all that shit with a grain of salt. You know, it's just me going off, but god damn it, I give you my word. I don't care if I still feel like shit tomorrow. I will be better. I don't care if physical goes to 7.05. I don't care if mental goes to 7.61. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to put in the effort to get there and put in that even the most slim positivity and progress in my efforts to do better, just for the sake of loving myself more, you know? Because that's all it fucking is. Just appreciating yourself, and even if you do a shit job and even if you don't like the standard that you were hitting, appreciating the work that you did put in, you know? Not saying that you gotta pat yourself on the back and give yourself a fucking trophy, but god damn it, give yourself even the smallest smidge of credit that you might deserve for the smallest bit of work that you did put in a good, positive way, you know? By the end of the workout, when I hit my snatch pulls, those last 2 sets, I was feeling pretty goddamn good. I was whipping that shit with some passion. But, you know, it was at the end of the workout, so I didn't really get to go as hard as I wanted to. So, again, all the more reason to put in that effort tomorrow. So you'll see me tomorrow. Sorry to go off so fucking hard, but you got to do it sometimes. You know, I gotta let you guys know how it's going. So let me know how the lives and the lifts have been going. I love hearing about it. And I got clean and jerk and back squat tomorrow. It is going to be a day for the core to burn. But I'm going to love every goddamn second of it if I fucking have to. I'm gonna force that shit as much as I can for the sake of positivity. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you sticking around. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.